the one, the only, Ben Sion. Good afternoon and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Iyun Mitzion. Today we're doing Pesachim, Perek Daled, Mishnah Chet and 10. I want to talk about Mishnah Ches over here. It says, Shish Zvarim Asu Anshe Yericho, Al Shloshel Michel B'Yadam, Al Shloshel Lo Michel B'Yadam. 6 things the people of Yericho did. They were not so observant in the halachas of the Torah. 3 things the rabbis felt it necessary to protest. 3 things they didn't protest. Now, of the 3 things they protested, the first thing was they used to take branches of trees that belonged to Hekdesh, and use them for their own purposes, which is Me'ilah. They thought only the fruits were Hekdesh, but really the branches, the wood was also Hekdesh. They also used to eat fruit that fell off trees on Shabbos. Now, according to Rav Ovadia Bar Tanura, I always mess up saying the Rav or Rav Ovadia Bar Tanura, because Rav goes the Ovad, the Iyun, you have to pronounce it, Rav Ovadia. It sounds like Ovadia Bar Tanura. Ovadia Bar Tanura says, it's not sure. People weren't sure when they fell. They fell on Friday or they fell on Shabbos. The Gemara in Mesechus Beitza says they fall on Shabbos. It's a Gzeira. You can't partake of them because you might come to take them off. You might be toleish on Shabbos. Malacha d'oraisa of kotzer. So even a suffix, they were mocha, so you can't have it. Now the question is, suffix d'Rabbana. It's only Gzeira d'Rabbana. We go to Kula, so there's no problem. They weren't doing anything wrong. They also protested. They used to say vegetables, take off payah, according to their field of vegetables. And the halacha is for a field of vegetables, you don't take off payah because vegetables are not something machlin salakiyim. They don't stay around for a long time. So you don't take off payah. So that was really important because by saying it's payah, they were potting shurus and maisos, and in truth it was really tevel. And people were eating tevel without thinking shumas and maisros. And also the first halacha was really hektish, pretty serious things. But the second thing doesn't make any sense. So I like to say over here, these people were completely ignorant in halacha. Sometimes, even though the second thing really was mutter, maker adin, because it was a suffix whether it fell on Shabbos or on Friday, and that's mutter, since all of these things had to do with things partaking of the same idea, eating things or using things that were attached to trees or your field, right? Payah, they're eating the payah without taking mishumas or maestros. They were using the wood of hekdesh, and they were eating these fruits. As opposed to the first 3 cases, shalom michul biyadam, that was just, they were cutting the omer, they weren't eating the omer, the chadash, or they weren't saying baruch shem kavod malchus olam v'ed. Or the first case, where, what was the first case? The first case was they did work on Erev Pesach, which is maybe a minhag, even after Chatzos, maybe not an Isser Gomer. The Yerushalmi says you're not supposed to work after Chatzos because of the time of Korban Pesach, but really there's no really problem with that. But the last 3 things, 2 of them were really big problems, Me'ilah and Tevel, which is Misam De Shamayim, and Me'ilah also, right, is a pretty serious thing, using Hekdesh. So therefore, since they were engaged in 3 inappropriate activities, one of them was actually mutter, it's a suffix, but if you make it with these people, sometimes they have more machmir on people that are amaratzim, because they're going to confuse it too. If we allow them to eat paras anoshim that fall on Shabbos, they'll say, oh, I can make my vegetables in the pay, and also I can partake of the wood of hekdesh. So therefore, they asked all 3 things in one bundle, even though the second thing out of these 3 things was really in fact mutter. It was just because they're all the same idea. So, and Amarasim can only understand things, they generally assume if one thing is mutter, the other thing is mutter. Therefore, they asked all 3 things because they all dealt with consumption of things from the field, which technically in the first and third case were usher, in the second case could be usher, but really wasn't usher. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you on the next one.